Brent, how was it not to have one that, went down to the wire?
It was good. It was good for our players to not have one. We got an opportunity to play some other younger players in there and get some young guys some really good reps and rest a couple of the older guys as well. I thought we handled it very well in there. I thought we could have done better at times. We got a little bit sloppy at times. We had some of our second-team guys in there. But I'll say this about ETSU. They got a good young football club there. Coach Torbush has done a good job with that young program, and he's going to do really good things in this league. And I think probably in about 2 or 3 years, you'll see a lot of these guys that are playing older doing a really good job for him, and because he's got a good scheme going on both sides of the ball.
It looked like you wanted to work on the passing game some. How did that go?
Well, early on, it wasn't necessarily working on it. I just wanted to get people off of us. I thought,
Okay.
coming out of the Wofford game, that people were starting to suck down on us too far, and we wanted to make sure that we stretched the field a little bit. So we came out early, threw a couple of good balls down there, and Dom completed a few of them down there. So that kind of helps us out for the rest of the game, backs them off of us a little bit, and it makes gives our opponents something else to think about. So yeah, it was definitely we wanted. It was definitely something we worked on all week long. And I came out of the Wofford game saying that we needed to work on it. It was definitely a downfall of our game that we needed to pick up.
Especially with Sanford coming up next week, how big is it to have a half where these guys can rest a little bit, just a little extra time on the side?
Yeah, it's big, but you know what? The bigger thing is getting those younger guys some reps because they're going to play for us. We've got a pretty old football club at this point. Eventually Dom's going to graduate in a year or two here. Cam Jackson's going to graduate, and we're going to have to play some of these younger guys. So it's a good opportunity to get, maybe Kafari Buffalo in there at safety. He gets some live action in there. So there's some really good things that come out of it, and it really does help us get a little bit more rest for the next week's game.
Is that first half about the most complete performance you've seen from the team this year?
It was. There's a couple things that I would have taken back in there. I thought they did a good job, though, in the first half of certainly coming out, doing what we wanted to do, and that was execute down the field. And I said in the second half, let's just go out there and finish it off. And I didn't think the third quarter was a great quarter for us. We had a good drive put together, put the ball on the ground, and then, of course, they go down and kick a field goal. So, in the third quarter, I thought we kind of slacked off a little bit, but we picked it back in the fourth quarter.
Do you feel like you need to ramp it back up this week for Sanford, or how do you approach it?
Well, I thought we had a lot of, not necessarily distractions this week, but our guys were busy with a lot of things going on. We had midterms going on this week, so they were taking a lot of midterms, and it was a little bit tiresome for them. So we focused on more rest, less practice. I think we need to ramp it up a little bit more, but not necessarily more practice, because we're in that time of year where we probably need to just back off a little bit more.
Sanford presents a challenge you haven't seen yet this year, the way they throw the ball.
Yeah, they're not only that, they can throw the ball, they're very up-tempo, they're a big physical football club, they're very athletic, they're very talented, so we definitely have our hands full with them, but I'll wait for tomorrow to take a look at those guys.
Cam, from the player's perspective, how nice was it to have one that didn't go right down to the wire?
Well, it was great for us vets out there, getting the young guys in, and it was just fun cheering on the young guys out there, like Grant, Kafari, and all those other guys.
Did that first half feel like one of the best halves you've had of football this season?
Well, I mean, the scout team really prepared us well, like they do every week, and we just go out there and execute.
What about Sanford now? Can you guys get it back up for another big game?
I mean, it's another conference game. One game closer to our goal of getting another SoCon championship, and we're just going to focus on the next game this week.
So much on the line next week. How do you guys stay focused and not get too hyped up, but stay just kind of right where you need to be?
I mean, we practice and play every week, like next conference game. So that's how we're going to approach it, like we do every conference game.
Tom, same thing for you. Was it nice not to have to sweat one out to the very end?
It was nice not having to pull a fourth quarter comeback or having to put a drive together at the end. It was nice to have a real good up-tempo game and where we execute fairly well. Like Coach Thompson said, we still had some things we need to work on, and I feel like we left a few points out there. But, that's where next week comes into play. We just practice and get better and prepare for Sanford.
Did you feel like that first half was among the best you've had so far this season?
Definitely. I felt like I threw the ball fairly well. I was confident in the pocket. I wasn't too sporadic. That was the one big thing I had to focus on this week was just being comfortable in the pocket and being able to stand there and take a hit and deliver a ball. So, that's still something we got to improve on from week to week. So, I think the run game went well. Our O-linemen bought their hearts out as always. Tyler Renew ran the ball fairly well, and we got all those guys to the perimeter that we need to get the perimeter and distribute the ball well and had a good game.
You got to throw the ball a little bit more today. Do you think that's going to help in the long run?
It definitely will. Like Coach Thompson said, it'll back some of those guys off on the secondary end. So, I mean, it's just less guys we have supporting us to open up the run game a little bit better and get some big yardage plays out. So, it's definitely going to help us out. We just got to keep continuing to work it and keep practicing it day in, day out.
I'm sure your percentage is not where you would like it so far this year. What can you point to as far as that goes?
You know, it's just me, just not being comfortable. You know, I felt like I didn't have enough time early in the season. It's just me, just being in a hurry. I just really got to calm down and just take my time out there and make the right reads and get the ball where it needs to be.
Is that something that gets you excited going out there, knowing you're going to be throwing the ball a little bit more?
I wouldn't really say excited. It just gives me another opportunity to show off what I can do, and so I took that opportunity to my full advantage. You know, we had practiced that route all week. You know, and I was able to go out there and take my time, set up, and deliver a good ball.
You know, when in Mercer against Mercer and Furman, you needed some big passes down the stretch. That's going to happen again this season, don't you think?
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, definitely when teams start supporting safeties and quarter firing us, I mean, we're definitely going to need to get the ball vertical. So it's just something we just got to continue to practice and continue to work on with our receivers and A-backs.
Jordan caught a touchdown pass today. I don't know, how many is that for your career? You remember?
That's 2.
2?
Yes, sir.
How'd that feel?
It felt amazing. Just working with those DBs, especially D. Delaney, just awesome player. But those DBs get us ready every week. I was thankful for it. But, yes, sir.
Was it nice to have a game where you guys weren't worried about things going down at the stretch after things were so close the last couple of weeks?
We were really just humble out there, just doing what we had to do. It was nice to really come out hard and sharp, but we still had things to work on. But it was nice coming out with some fire.
Jordan, I talked to Rudder last week a little bit about what it's like to play receiver at the Citadel. You know, you might measure yourself by things other than catches. You know, how do you tell whether you've had a good game as a Citadel receiver?
Just playing hard, and being here has really taught me that it's not always about the catches and the touchdowns. It's about really selling out to the person that's next to you or getting the ball. And we really take a pride in blocking and really helping out A-backs and B-backs and dominating. And we take huge pride in it.